This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
An arrest is made in the murders of 2 teens, but what do we do to stop future killings? An in-depth look at the east side from the people who live there.
Got an organization that's ready to move forward, and that's what we're beginning to do.
Recall 6 investigates exposed the misuse of money that was supposed to go to veterans. We hear from the first time from the new person in charge at Veterans Affairs.
And there is always a need for nurses, and today in Hiring Hoosiers, we'll show you how the next generation is getting ready for nursing careers before they even leave high school. It's 5 o'clock on your Tuesday morning, a rainy start to our day. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey, and Todd Clausen is here to tell us all about it, as well as look ahead to some nicer weather we have coming up.
Yeah, you just got to be a little bit patient here this morning. We got several hours with some rain chances. Not everybody's going to probably see the rainfall here this morning, but for those of you in and around the metro area, commuting into the metro area, you likely will see the rain at some point, and you can see this band of rain with these spotty downpours kind of stretching now from Tipton all the way back towards the Terre Haute area. So Brazil, Greencastle, there's another downpour near Martinsville, over towards Greenwood into Brownsburg, Lebanon. A few lightning strikes there as well. Heavy downpour there just south of the Tipton area, and light showers just approaching the metro area now. So this is all going to work its way through, and there's some rain still off in Illinois. So it's going to be several hours here this morning while we do have some rain chances. But then once the front goes through, much better weather is in store for us as we get into the afternoon hours. So just got to be a little bit patient this morning. 60s and 70s right now. Soon as we get into the sunshine later on this afternoon, temperatures will jump close to 80 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Take a look here at our traffic now map. The good news, no crashes to report around the metro area, so let's plan out your drive. Heading in from the south side of town along State Road 37, moving northbound. It's a 15-minute drive from State Road 144 in the Barkersville-Waverly area up to the I-465 ramps at Harding Street. No delays there. And then looking over here as you're traveling northbound on I-65, if you're picking it up at Southport Road, heading to I-70 at the North Split, it's only a 10-minute commute, so everything in that area is traveling smoothly. Let's take a look over on the east side, though, right now. I-70, no problems here at Sherman Drive. Everything is traveling up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. We'll continue to keep you updated.
A 15-year-old is being held for his role in the shooting deaths of 2 teen siblings from the east side. The 15-year-old girl and 16-year-old boy found dead in their apartment Friday morning. Since that crime took place, we've heard from heartbroken family members and members of the community frustrated by gun violence, especially when it comes to teenagers.
And RTV6's own Cameron Riddle spoke with community leaders who say the answers to ending the violence on the east side are right in front of us.
As friends and family try to heal following the double murder of a teenage brother and sister, activists are asking the community to come together and address the problems they say are well known and ignored.
It was so many different gaps and resources continuing to shut down every single year, putting us in a position where we got to put food on our table. We got to do what we got to do to survive. And so a lot of people turn to violence.
While a 15-year-old boy sits in jail in connection to the deaths of Nicholas and Ashlyn Nelson, community activists are reminding the city's young men violence is not the answer. It's a lifestyle Darius Ross knows well.
I was one of them who kind of straddled the fences at first, but turned to the streets. Lost 37 friends to gun violence. It took 2 of my friends killing each other over $50 to wake me up.
Ross, a former gang leader turned community activist, is now running for city county council. He says putting the city's young men on the right path is a job no one person or organization can tackle alone.
You got to put something in front of them that they ain't used to seeing. We need people to step up, peers to step up, people who have influence to step up, to put something positive in front of these kids.
Those are words Antonio Patton lives by. He's part of the team launching the Reset Center, a new community headquarters for the East Side. He says mentoring the teens growing up in today's world takes building a connection that was lost long ago.
We need the village mentality back like never before, to where when your child was out of line, I knew his dad, I knew his mom, I knew whoever that guardian was, he or she, and that child could get their behinds whooped right there, and then they knew they was gonna have a double up whooping coming later on that night.
Patton says mentoring the teens of today requires a lot of love, patience, and consideration, a trait they have to receive to know how to give.
We have to empower these kids to know to, before you make a reaction or a decision, have you stopped and thought about what you're about to do and what's the severity and the consequences for my action.
Working for you on the East Side, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Cameron, thank you. Well, the 15-year-old who was arrested has not been charged. Marion County prosecutors are reviewing the case. If that child is eventually charged with murder, a judge will decide whether or not he's tried as an adult. Also this morning, we know what may have led to a shooting on the north side of Indianapolis that left a 3-month-old baby and his uncle dead. Ivory Smith is charged with murdering William Wilson Jr. and his nephew Kador on Saturday afternoon at a home on Guilford Avenue near 23rd Street and College Avenue. Court documents show that Smith told police she and Wilson were engaged and she shot him during an argument. She claims she did not know that she shot the baby. Wilson's mother was also shot and wounded but is expected to recover.
Call 6 Investigates continues to hold a state agency accountable after uncovering the misuse of money meant to help struggling veterans. Dennis Weimer has been on the job 6 months as the new director of the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. He replaced Jim Brown, who stepped down in December after Call 6 questioned why the department allowed its own staff members to receive military family relief funds beyond the $2,500 limit while denying money to other vets. Weimer says he's worked to improve communication.
What was the biggest thing that stuck out to you where you're like, this has got to change? This isn't working.
Yeah, it's a good question around what has to change. I think it was the lack of communication both amongst staff and amongst the partners in the community. So that had to change. We had to invite them in. We had to understand what the needs are better for the community because we serve the community.
A new law was signed following our investigation that strips IDVA of its authority to approve grants for its own employees. Instead, the Veterans Affairs Commission has to review and approve those applications. At 5:07, we want to look at hiring Hoosiers. Students at the Pike Career and STEM Center are getting real-life experience that will allow them to get a job right after high school.
The Certified Nursing Assistant program is popular among the students looking to get that first taste of a career in nursing. Our own Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning. Alyssa, these students are getting that hands-on experience with real patients.
That's right. So along with the work they're doing here at the Career Center, students also get to leave campus and go work with some of the community partners here in Pike Township. Now, what they do with them is actually take care of real patients in the long-term setting. These students are learning nursing basics at Pike Career and STEM Center.
I've learned that proper hand washing is the most important thing, that if you don't do it, everything you do is contaminated and it can go terribly wrong.
Students in the class learn 72 skills outlined by the Indiana State Department of Health CNA curriculum.
Basic skills with activities of daily living up to vital signs, helping residents get dressed, helping to feed them, observing their skin.
Along with high school and college credits, they also earn a certification that allows them to get a job right when they graduate, of which there are plenty in this field.
And right now, there's a really big shortage in nursing. When school starts day one, there are people that are calling me, asking me how many students we have, because they are looking for CNAs all across the city. And not only do they get the CNA certification, they'll get a CPR certification also.
And the instructor says that students that get hired right out of high school can get jobs that pay anywhere between $11 and $13 an hour right here in the community. She also says along with those jobs they can get right after they graduate, this also lays the groundwork for anyone wishing to continue their education in nursing. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. It is 5:09. It is August, the end of August really, and we're already talking about the flu, and that's because flu season could hit us early this year. Doctors at IU Health say that flu season started 2 months ahead of schedule in Australia and New Zealand, and that's usually an indicator for how the U.S. will be impacted. The virus can lead to deaths in some cases, and you may not know that you have it until it gets serious.
With influenza, everything starts out, is it a cold or is it an influenza? Influenza, it's fever, aches, chill, muscle pain, joint pain. A cold, it can be just like that.
Well, doctors say it's never too early to get a flu shot. They say most pharmacies are already offering the flu vaccine. Here at 510, let's check in with Todd Clausen in today's forecast. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Lauren, once again, we're dealing with rain for your morning commute. The second day in a row we are doing so, and that's why we are in alert mode once again for you, to alert you to the potential for some slowdowns on the roadways and to grab the umbrella. But we're only dealing with it this morning. By the time we work our way throughout the afternoon, the showers will be ending from west to east across the area. Then this evening is partly cloudy, and the rain right now stretches basically from downtown Indianapolis. You saw Alyssa there with her umbrella back towards Terre Haute, and then some locations to the north with a few heavier downpours into Tipton as well as Brownsburg, and then some heavier downpours in and around Brazil and just south of Terre Haute. So this entire line of showers and storms will have to continue to move to the east, and you notice it stretches back off into Illinois. So you just got to be patient here throughout the morning hours for it to work through. It's part of a cold front. Once the cold front goes through, and then we'll have much better weather for this afternoon and the rest of the week. More on that coming up for you in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. Manufacturing is still big business, but it has changed much over the decades. And it will be changing even more soon. Next in Hiring Hoosiers, how students are learning about those changes in the classroom so they can make manufacturing a career.
Weekdays at 9 on RTV6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time right now is 5:14 on your Tuesday. And here's a live look right now. Your commute on the east side of town, I-70 here in Shadeland Avenue. Traffic is traveling smoothly on the interstate. Looks like no problems to slow you down. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on things and keep you updated. Well, students, they're getting creative with technology in the world of manufacturing.
Today in Hiring Hoosiers, we're showing you how students at J. Everett Light Career Center are preparing to be successful after graduation. Our Aaron Lish joins us live from J. Everett. And Aaron, what exactly is advanced machining technology?
It's one of those things where I didn't really know what it was, but the instructor here, Kyle Marshall, he tells me it's basically just getting kids to make things with different technology. And you can see it right here. They make all of this in the classroom. They work on a variety of things like 3D printing, laser printing, and CNC machining, which you will be seeing in the video here. Students learn the skills needed to grow in the fields of manufacturing and production. They work on quality and continuously practicing these different types of material here, maintenance awareness, and of course, safety. Marshall wants them to become problem solvers so they can really stand out to those employers after graduation, and they're doing that by learning as many tools as they can.
Really everything we do these days is manipulated in some way by a machine or a piece of software. And my students are learning that here in this class. So whether it's 3D printing, laser cutting, CNC milling, routing, we really try to tackle as much and work on breadth, not depth, and hit as many technologies as we can.
This program will benefit students who want to become CNC machinists, drafting techs, material handling specialists, and of course engineers. And in the next half hour, we're actually hear from a couple of students and how they think this will shape their career after they graduate high school. A lot of really neat things that they are making here. We'll have that coming up, but for now, back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you so much. Time right now is 5:16. President Trump heading home from the G7 summit, but this morning he's being criticized for skipping a meeting on climate change crisis and the wildfires raging through the Amazon in South America. The fires are threatening a major source of oxygen that's pumped into the Earth's atmosphere, as well as a number of indigenous tribes in Brazil who still live in the forest. But the Amazon was already being threatened by the policies of Brazil's president, who's an ally of President Trump, and who's calling for more mining and commercial development in the rainforest. As for the climate change meeting, the president suggested ideas of fighting off the crisis would cost too much.
We can take care of people that we couldn't have taken care of in the past because of the great wealth. We can't let that wealth be taken away.
The White House was also caught making up some reasons as to why Trump was not at the G7 climate meeting. They claim the president had other meetings with leaders of Germany and India that conflicted. However, both those leaders were attending the climate meeting.
Later today, people in Bloomington will rally in an effort to combat an escalation of white supremacist activity in the city. The group, Bloomington United, will hold an evening of solidarity tomorrow at the Monroe County Courthouse. That's tonight, I apologize. Bloomington United says the city has experienced an increase in hate activity over the past 2 years, especially among white supremacy groups. So Bloomington United says it will promote diversity and inclusion at tonight's event. It starts at 5:30 in the evening. Earlier this month, the Bloomington Farmers Market shut down for 2 weeks over public safety concerns after a vendor at the market was outed as a member of a white supremacist group. The owners of Schooner Creek Farms were revealed as members of the group Identity Europa in leaked chat logs from white nationalist online forums. They were also named by the suspect who vandalized a synagogue in Carmel, according to transcripts of FBI interviews with the suspect. The city of Bloomington says it can't ban Schooner Creek from the market because it could violate their free speech rights.
We're glad we didn't see this during our state fair. Take a look. Record rainfall has forced the Nebraska State Fair to close its parking lots for a duration of the fair. Check out these pictures from the water. The fairgrounds got even more rain on Monday. The fair is now bringing in tens of thousands of visitors by bus. That means some fair visitors are having to wait long periods of time for rides since many of the bus drivers are tied up with their school bus routes.
I don't even know if I would bother going.
I don't think I'd want to go.
That would not be very enjoyable.
No, especially with little kids.
Yeah.
Not super safe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Todd, we know we got a lot of rain yesterday, but nothing crazy like that. Thankfully, the fair's over.
Right? Yeah, they had great weather for the fair this year. Just a couple days there where we had a few thunderstorms move through, but it didn't wash out any days like that in Nebraska. This morning, once again, we are dealing with some showers moving through, and you'll have to contend with these for your morning commute. We'll start you off here on the western side of the state. Some downpours near Brazil, south of Terre Haute, another heavier downpour near Greencastle, but really all along I-70 this morning from Indy to the state line with Illinois. You're going to be dealing with some showers in and around the metro area. It's just some light rain that's falling across most of the area through Indy down towards the Edgewood area, up towards Brownsburg and Carmel, and then to the north near Tipton, there's a heavier downpour. We had a few lightning strikes earlier this morning. They have now fallen off, but it's not out of the question that maybe you see a flash of lightning or hear a rumble of thunder this morning as this band of rain starts to make its way through the area, but we are not expecting any severe weather. That's the good news, but the rain does extend across the state line into Illinois, and all this is going to have to stream through the state. So the further north you are, probably less in the way of rainfall today. The further south you are, you're probably going to have to deal with these showers just a little bit longer as this front moves through, but the heaviest of the rain, that should dive down to our south, and we should not see it. But you do notice behind the front, the clouds do kind of linger a little bit, so it's not going to be one of those snap of the finger type of deals where the front goes through and then boom, the rain's gone and the clouds are gone and we're into the sunshine. It's going to be a gradual process here throughout the afternoon hours. So just plan on having the umbrella handy throughout the morning and even into the early afternoon. There's some showers that linger, and then here's the clearing that finally takes place. It occurs first to the west. It takes a little bit longer to the east. So the further west you are, you're brighter and you're a little bit warmer today compared to eastern locations that hang on to the clouds throughout most of the day. Now here's the view from the Weather Now camera network, and you can't really see much of anything with the low overcast skies. Temperatures are currently in the 70s. Be patient here. Eventually the skies do turn partly sunny throughout the afternoon hours with temperatures that'll approach 80 degrees. Our high today, though, will be pretty late in the day because that's when we get into the sunshine. But this cold front ushers in a completely new air mass. Low temperatures overnight tonight, 53 in the outlying areas to about 60 in the city. So it's a cooler day for us, or overnight period, and that's going to lead to a cooler day for us tomorrow. But we're dealing with lots of sunshine throughout the day tomorrow. So it's really going to be a nice Wednesday for us. And honestly, the extended forecast, once we get past the showers this morning, is pretty nice. Some spotty storms are possible on Saturday. Otherwise, your Labor Day weekend is looking pretty nice with low humidity, lots of sunshine, comfortable overnight lows and highs that'll be right around 80 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now outside from our INDOT traffic camera. I-465 here near Crawfordsville Road, I-74. You can see traffic there is traveling just fine. No major issues for your commute other than it looks like some wet interstates out there, so use caution. Let's take a look right now at some drive times from our traffic maps. Taking a look over here to the southwest and west side of town as you're traveling eastbound on I-70 from Ronald Reagan Parkway to I-65 at the South Split. It's only a 12-minute commute. Everything is moving along up to speed.
Yesterday, we told you he made Team USA, and earlier today, another big showing for the Pacers' Miles Turner. He had 10 points and 15 rebounds against Canada as the U.S. wraps up exhibition play with an 84-68 win. Turner and the U.S. team began play in basketball's World Cup this Sunday in China.
Well, he isn't even old enough to vote for himself, but a teenager took advantage of a ridiculous craze to make a difference. Up next, how his work in a line for chicken could help to get someone elected next year. It is 5:22. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Your doctor about Trulicity.
Welcome back. With all the hype around those new Popeyes chicken sandwiches, one teenager saw his chance to make a difference in his community.
The long lines outside a restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina signaled a chance for him and others to remind people to vote. David Ledbetter is 17 and he spent his Saturday walking up to people outside of a Popeyes and handing out sample ballots and voter registration forms. He and others provided people waiting for their Popeyes sandwiches with voter information and gave them the forms to fill out on their own. He says they didn't keep an exact count of how many people they talked to, but the lines were so long, he eventually ran out of voter forms. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I bet he'll run for office someday. He seems pretty involved.
Yeah.
All right, we do want to talk to Todd right now, talk about your forecast. If anyone's going to be waiting in any lines, you don't want to do it this morning.
No.
Yeah. You have to have the umbrella handy at least this morning. Otherwise, if you're in your car, your windshield wipers will be going once again this morning. Just slow down on those roadways. You can see the band of rain that's streaming through the area with some pockets of what we'll call moderate rainfall. There's no real heavy rain, but this band of rain's with us throughout the morning. Gradual clearing this afternoon with high temperatures that'll be a little warmer to the west because you get into the sunshine a little bit quicker than Indianapolis and points to the east. The time now is 5:27. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
RTV6 is working for you. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30, oil is polluting the town of Speedway's wastewater system.
This morning, why authorities say the oil is being illegally dumped and the burden it's having on the town's budget. Plus, schools will receive their iLearn scores next week. That's the test that replaced the iStep.
This morning, why state leaders say those scores are lower than originally expected. It is 5:30 here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. And if you take a look at what is behind us, this is a
look.
great description of what it is like outside right now, Todd, because it's rainy, it's a little cloudy. We're going to see similar weather to what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, you know, especially the first half of the day. Things do change the second half of the day today compared to yesterday. So that's good news as we'll start to brighten things up. But this is the front working its way through the area finally across the area. And so now we're going to deal with these downpours and some showers throughout the morning hours. Heavier downpour in and around the Greencastle area. Another one near Martinsville along State Road 37 there. And then through Hendricks County, some downpours. And then to the north here over towards Tipton and Elwood, we're starting to see the rain move off towards the east. So you just got to be patient here throughout the morning hours. A lot of you're going to see some showers as you take the kids off to the bus stop, as you head out the door and start your commute into work on this Tuesday morning, because there's a lot more rain off to our west still, and all this is going to have to stream through. So finally, by the time we get to mid-afternoon, the rain does come to an end. So I would say have the rain gear handy through about 1, 2 o'clock. And then once we get beyond 2 o'clock, that's when things should start to improve. Once the rain stops and the clouds thin, notice the temperature jump, eventually highs near 80 degrees. The time now is 4:31. Let's get another look at the roads with Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a live look right now at traffic up here in the Pendleton area. I-69 at State Road 38. Construction zone in this area, but it looks like all the orange barrels pulled off the sides of the lanes here. Everything is open and traveling smoothly, both northbound and southbound. Great news for your commute. Take a look here at our traffic now map, planning out your drive with some drive times for you at this hour. Over on the east side, if you're taking I-70 into the downtown area, traveling westbound from Post Road to I-65 at the north split, just 10 minutes, no problems there. Looking across town along I-74, it's a 7-minute drive from State Road 267 through Brownsburg to I-465. And let's take a live look in that area right now from our INDOT traffic camera here near Raceway Road. You can see some headlights out that way, but traffic is moving along smoothly at this early hour.
Someone is contaminating the wastewater system in Speedway, and now town officials are asking for your help finding who is responsible. The town says industrial oil is now being illegally dumped into the system. Officials say this is causing a significant financial burden on the town and creating safety concerns. The illegal dumping appears to be happening in the early morning hours of the weekend. If you have any information or see anything suspicious, you're asked to call 911.
Well, police are asking for your help finding a car connected to a deadly hit and run that happened on the east side of Indianapolis. Come take a good look at your screen. Detectives say this vehicle looks like that, a white Mitsubishi Lancer sedan, model year between 2010 and 2014. Now, the actual car has damage below the door of the driver's side. Investigators say the driver hit a motorcycle around 8:30 Saturday evening along English Avenue near Emerson, killing the rider, 31-year-old Paul Barlow. If you have any information on this case, please call Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS.
The state representative accused of operating a vehicle while intoxicated and impersonating law enforcement is due in court later today. Police arrested Dan Forrestal back on August 10th on the city's east side. During the arrest, he allegedly threatened to use his status to have officers fired. Forrestal is also a private with the Indianapolis Fire Department. He's currently suspended without pay.
Test scores from Indiana's new iLearn exams will be released on September the 4th, and they're expected to be low. Officials say there was a learning curve as the state moved from the iStep to the iLearn last year. Governor Holcomb is calling for schools to not be negatively impacted when it comes to things like teacher evaluations and pay, which are tied to test scores. Leaders of the House and Senate released statements saying that they agree with that request.
It's an industry with a need for more workers, nursing, and students are getting a head start on becoming a certified nursing assistant at the Pike Career and STEM Center at Pike High School. Our Alyssa Donovan is live at the school this morning. Alyssa, these students graduate with a certification that can get them a job right away. A pretty great deal there.
Yeah, that's right, Meredith. And the instructor says that students can earn between $11 and $13 in that first job right after high school, which is pretty good money for a high school student. Now, you also have to consider that this is laying the groundwork for anyone that wants to continue their education in nursing and go on to college. Now, students in the program learn 72 skills that are outlined by the Indiana State Department of Health CNA curriculum. Basics like reading vital signs, helping patients safely get up and get dressed, and feeding them, just to name a few. The instructor says there is such a high demand for CNAs right now that she receives a call at the start of each school year from employers asking how many students she has enrolled in the program. Along with the work done in the classroom, students also get hands-on experience off campus.
They'll go out and actually take care of real patients, real residents, the elderly in the long-term care setting, and they'll be out there for at least 75 hours. They learn the skills here in the lab, and we go out and we get the experience of taking care of real people.
Along with a CNA certification, students also leave CPR certified. And while they are here at the Career Center, they are earning dual credits. So they are getting those high school credits as well as credits towards Ivy Tech. So if they do want to continue their education after high school, they already have some credits. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much. The time right now is 5:36. We want to talk more about hiring Hoosiers and what our own Erin Lish is working on today. She's talking about advanced manufacturing over the J. Everett Light Career Center, and she's looking at this technology program. And Erin, what exactly does this whole course entail?
So when you're looking at this, we are in the workshop right now, and students, they get hands-on training using all these different machines, and in the end, they actually make products like these that will make them stand out in the manufacturing and production world.
Students at J. Everett Light Career Center set up and watch the CAD machine work its magic, creating a design.
Advanced manufacturing, it's actually the biggest impact on Indiana's economy.
Instructor Kyle Marshall of the Advanced Manufacturing Technology Program says there's plenty of openings in this industry.
We're sitting at around 90,000 unfilled positions in Indiana alone,
which is appealing to students.
At first, I wanted to do something with engineering, but last year we learned so much about manufacturing and logistics and how big it is in Indiana. I'm kind of leaning towards that.
From CNC routing, 3D printing, and laser cutting, kids are learning it all.
We're looking at students who can get onto the front lines where they're actually making and producing products, or in more of a supervisory level if they're going to extend their education.
They earn 15 college credit hours and 4 certifications over 2 years. And as they test out this line of work, they have the creative freedom in their design.
And whatever you design, basically, you can literally make come to life. And that's one of the aspects I really like about manufacturing engineering as a whole.
Now, along with making these creative designs like we have here with the RTV6 logo, they also get certifications and college credits. And I was looking it up, and they save about $800 for college tuition going through this program. We're going to have a little bit more from them in the next half hour, but for now, back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. New this morning, IUPUI's men's basketball coach Jason Gardner faces charges for driving while intoxicated. Hamilton County officials say Gardner was arrested just after 5 yesterday morning in Fishers. He was charged with operating while intoxicated. Not many details on his arrest have been released at this time. Gardner has coached at IUPUI since 2014 and attended North Central High School.
At 5:38 this morning, deputies in Tippecanoe County have a warning for local residents: lock your car doors. The sheriff's office says they've received nearly a dozen reports of car break-ins near Foxmore Lane and County Road 200 North. That's in the eastern part of the county. Deputies say that it is always a good idea to take in your valuable items and then lock your car doors.
Investigators say they do not expect charges to be filed in the death of a 21-month-old girl in Hendricks County. Deputies say the family accidentally left the child in their vehicle after getting home from church Sunday afternoon. The parents and siblings all thought someone else had taken the girl inside for a nap. They found her in the car hours later and called 911. According to the advocacy group KidsAndCars.org, this is the second child in Indiana to die after being left in a car this year. 3-year-old Oliver Dill died on July 9th in Evansville. The group says there have been 36 similar deaths nationwide in 2019.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will be in the Circle City later this morning. His visit is part of the 101st American Legion National Convention. It's happening this week. Pompeo will address the American Legion just before noon at the Indiana Convention Center. RTV6's own Rafael Sanchez is set to sit down with Pompeo for a one-on-one interview. Vice President and former Indiana Governor Mike Pence is scheduled to speak at that convention tomorrow.
The National Weather Service in Chicago says a brief tornado may have touched down in northwest Indiana. The storm spawned the tornado just outside of Kentland, Indiana in Newton County. Meteorologists say the tornado was on the ground for just a few moments and does not appear to have caused any damage. Here in central Indiana, however, we do have some rain to kick off our morning. The good news, Todd, it's not going to last all day.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We deal with the rain through about midday, maybe a little bit longer. And the better news is no severe threat throughout the day today. So this is just some plain old rain, but nonetheless, kind of a wet start again as the kids head off to the bus stop this morning. Temperature's not an issue, 72 degrees with these scattered rain showers. And as the kids come home, the showers will be ending from west to east. So western locations, you get out of the rain first. Eastern locations hang on to the rain a little bit longer with a high today of 79 degrees. Here's where we stand right now, and picking up a few lightning strikes once again south of Brazil, one in and around the Greencastle area with some heavier downpours, then up to the north, some lighter rain showers as you work your way from Brownsburg to Speedway up through Noblesville and eventually into the Elwood area. So we'll deal with these showers throughout a good chunk of the morning on a scattered basis. This afternoon turns much brighter once we get into that sunshine. A really nice forecast going forward throughout the remainder of the week. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Tropical storm Dorian continues to gain strength in the Atlantic. Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, we'll show you how officials in Florida are already preparing for that storm.
And we're keeping a close eye on your morning drive as we do have a wet morning commute for some parts. This is a live look in downtown where traffic's really picking up. I-70 at the North Split. Everything is still moving along just fine, though. We'll continue to look out for any crashes or delays and keep you updated on the other side of the break. Stay with us. You're watching Good Morning Indiana.
Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Indigo's new Red Line is set to welcome its first passengers on Sunday. Working for you, RTV6 is going inside the Red Line. Call 6 investigates. Rafael Sanchez finds out how the new rapid transit line will impact everyone coming into Marion County. Join us for our half-hour special Thursday at 7 p.m.
At 5:45, the House Judiciary Committee wants to talk to former White House staff secretary about what President Trump may have been thinking during the Mueller investigation. Committee members subpoenaed Rob Porter as part of the investigation into the president and possible obstruction of justice. As staff secretary, Porter's job was to vet any documents the president signed, but he eventually took on more responsibilities, often advising the president on a wide range of issues. Porter is one of the most cited sources in part of the Mueller report that covers obstruction.
The Justice Department will seek the death penalty against the accused Pittsburgh synagogue gunman. Robert Bowers is accused of killing 11 worshipers in the mass shooting on October 27, 2018. Bowers has pleaded not guilty to the 63 federal charges against him. The Justice Department's decision comes despite 2 of 3 synagogue congregations wanting Bowers to serve life instead of getting the death penalty if convicted.
Well, all eyes are on Tropical Storm Dorian this morning as it strengthens in the Atlantic. Even though the storm is thousands of miles away from Florida, officials are taking notice. Florida Task Force 2 in Miami is preparing for a possible deployment to the Caribbean. The storm is expected to become a hurricane as it approaches Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic tomorrow and Thursday. Task Force 2 members say they're ready for whatever that storm brings.
We prepare, we train year-round, and our guys are elite. They're the best of the best. The 28 teams around the country are the elite. They are trained to the technician level across the board and what their expertise might be. So they are very well educated and ready to perform on whatever the disaster might be.
Florida's other elite forces, Task Force 1, is already heading to Puerto Rico this morning. Back here at home, we do have a Storm Team 6 alert morning. Let's check in with Todd Clausen.
Yeah, Lauren, we're dealing with rain here this morning, and that's why we're in alert mode. There's nothing severe heading our way, but the timing just not great for your morning commute, as we'll be dealing with these showers moving through and a few rumbles of thunder. So the impact level is kind of low to medium. It's more of a nuisance, I think, for you than a real threat, so that is at least good news. But we do have a brighter afternoon ahead. And as far as those thunderstorms, again, there could be a spot one, as I'll show you here on radar right now, as we've developed a little more in the way of lightning. You see one lightning strike here just south of I-70 as you work your way down Indiana 59 and Indiana 46 there, just south of Brazil, a lightning strike. Some heavier rainfall just south of Terre Haute, and then some lightning strikes in and around the Greencastle area within the last 5 minutes or so. So you may hear a rumble of thunder this morning. Don't be shocked if you do. The bigger impact would just be the rain on the roadways as this rain starts to make its way through. We have rain in and around the metro area, now encompassing all of the 465 loop with just light rain so far in the metro area, then light rain through Noblesville, Cicero, and heavier downpour just to the north of Alexandria. So this is part of a cold front that's working through. The front still off to our west, and this leading batch of rain in northern locations was through pretty quickly, but it's here to the south that you notice the rain extends all the way back into Illinois, and all this is going to have to stream through as this front starts to make its way into the area. So have the umbrella or the rain jacket handy at least through the noon hour today in most locations, as we'll deal with some scattered showers. And again, it's not going to be raining at all times, but then that front starts to work through around midday. So the rain comes to an end and the clouds clear a little quicker here in western locations compared to eastern locales. Unfortunately, for those of you in Richmond, Connorsville, Greensburg, you hang on to the rain threat just a little bit longer throughout the day today. And then overnight tonight, we start to clear things out. So the sun will come out today. You just got to be patient here and wait till the afternoon hours. Barely see the lights through the clouds here on the RTV6 Weather Now camera network. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s this morning across the area. Highs today a little warmer to the west because you get into the sunshine quicker. A low to mid 80s, about 80 though in Indianapolis, and points to the east where the showers and the clouds linger just a little bit longer. And then tomorrow morning, look at this, 60 in the city, 50s though in the outlying areas. So tonight's one of those nights, once again, turn off the AC, you can open the windows, let that nice refreshing air in. The humidity drops as well. That sets us up for a beautiful day tomorrow. Nothing but sunshine, low humidity, and temperatures that'll be in the mid 70s. And tomorrow starts a real nice stretch of weather that ends the work week with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures right around 80 degrees each day, give or take a little above or below depending on the day. And as far as Labor Day weekend, Saturday some spotty storms, but that should just be about it. Otherwise partly cloudy skies and highs, Lauren, right around 80 degrees.
All right, Todd, here's the a live look at that wet morning commute. This is I-70 near Ronald Reagan Parkway to our west, and you can see traffic there is also picking up this morning. Everything looks to be traveling up to speed, though. No crashes around the metro area right now to slow you down.
A new study shows the U.S. is throwing away at least 3,500 donated kidneys every year. The study found between 2004 and 2014, more than 17% of donated kidneys were discarded. In 2016, about 20% of donated kidneys were discarded. More than 37 million Americans have chronic kidney disease, and 5,000 die each year waiting for a new organ. President Donald Trump addressed the issue in July and signed an executive order promising to transform kidney care in the U.S. College students across the country are headed back to class. This morning, we'll introduce you to one student and the amazing odds she overcame to get there.
And some inmates at the Indiana Women's Prison now have a special set of skills. Download the RTV6 app right now to read more about how their unique knowledge will help them land jobs once they're released. Time right now is 5:51. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Back to school and beyond.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:54 on your Tuesday, and we have a wet morning drive here on I-70, a little west of Lyndhurst Drive. The good news is everything is still traveling up to speed. Just use caution as you're heading out there. Well, college students from across the country are heading back to class.
This morning, one college freshman in Georgia is living a life that almost seemed out of reach. Anaya Rucker started at Berry College this week on a full scholarship as promised. Nearly a decade ago, she pushed her little sister out of the way as a truck headed right for them. At just 10 years old, Rucker lost her own leg in the process. She almost didn't survive, but because of her actions, she ended up on the reality show Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and that's when Berry College offered her that scholarship.
I never really thought I would make it this far because it was actually 1 in 1 chance of, me surviving.
The freshman student is still thinking about other people. She says she wants others going through challenges to know they can succeed too. I have a feeling she might seek out a major and then career that helps others, maybe like nursing or something like that.
Very cool.
Good for her.
Yes, congratulations. All right, today in the forecast is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Todd says it's more of a Storm Team 6 alert morning. Todd, what's going on out there?
We're dealing with rain, as you see it streaming through here on Storm Team 6 radar, so obviously it's going to have to slow you down a little bit on the roadways. Not as much in the way of rainfall up to the north in Lafayette as well as Monticello, but south of there, most of central Indiana is going to be impacted here by rain this morning. Temperatures currently are in the 70s. So going forward, Lauren mentioned an alert morning. As we get into the afternoon hours, we will start to clear from west to east. For those of you in eastern locations, though, you'll have to be patient. It's probably not until mid to late afternoon, but eventually everybody sees sunshine before the day is over. As soon as you get into that sunshine, temperatures warm. It's near 80 degrees.
Todd, thank you. A 15-year-old faces charges in connection to the deaths of 2 teens on the east side. Ahead at 6 o'clock, how community leaders are calling for change after the violence.
And here's a live look outside across central Indiana as you prepare to start your Tuesday. Can't see too much here from our downtown view to the north due to the weather out there, so plan ahead for what you're wearing. We'll have more news, weather, and traffic to kick off your Tuesday right here on Good Morning Indiana when we come back.